with a housing development nearby, don't
yes,
you?
we do.
For the building work apprentices.
Yes.
Their managing director is on our board.
Yes.
Right. So we keep the connection, particularly in the construction area, for apprenticeships and other connections to the commercial activities in this region.
And how many apprenticeships are you doing now?
6,200 last year, and it's growing. So
Skills are you developing?
oh, it's quite wide ranging. A huge area is engineering, construction. We introduced 2 years ago. We've got quite a lot in health and social care, childcare, hospitality and catering is another big area. So it's quite well aligned to the job vacancies in the local area. But last year we worked with 1,200 employers, and that was mostly on apprenticeships.
And do you get the small employers involved as well?
Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
that's often the difficult
Yes,
area.
we've got
Very,
a really,
very small
we've got a
employers.
really good mix.
In this area particularly, we reflect the SME concept because that's what's around us. But it doesn't preclude us from activities with places like NHS. Indirectly to
Durham
this and
Constabulary,
but we are at that fortunate risk. I think one thing is important, we've been doing this a long time.
Yes.
It was 9 years ago, on behalf of the board, I negotiated with the then principal to change the direction and strategy.
Yes. So we started a long time
and we
ago.
started, and that longevity has given us the experience to judge accurately the value to our learners of the apprenticeship schemes we can offer.
You're going to meet quite a lot of our learners and apprentices in the course of the tour.
You do good apprenticeship.
Why not?
I wish I had. It's fantastic.
Well, you can.
Oh, can?
Yeah, you know, leadership and management.
Jonathan, if you were kind of reading it this way.
Jeremy, there's a young gentleman over here on the wall that we're really proud of. I don't know whether you can see the photograph there.
I thought you meant Michael Crick. You were proud of Michaal Crick.
This is a young lad called Rhys Taylor.
Instead of proud of a young gentleman over here, like, I thought it must have been you.
Rhys came to the college as an 18-year-old, and he had no qualifications. He left school with no qualifications, no confidence, didn't have a clue what he wanted to do, but he knew he was good with his hands. So we tried him out in a few areas and realised he had a real talent in welding, a natural talent. Couple of years down the line, he was on Team UK. He competed in Sao Paulo in Brazil in 2015 in fabrication and welding, and he was awarded the Medallion of Excellence. So we're super proud of Rhys as one of our apprentices.
I think it's World Skills Olympics, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes,
what it is.
every
Right. One of the lovely things is we pick up learners that are often disillusioned with traditional education in this area.
Yes.
We capitalise on the opportunities we can give those young
I've been
people.
involved in supporting the woodworking course in my local college. They're bringing in kids with learning difficulties.
Yes.
15 or 16. And some of the stuff they get again is a bit on the rough and ready side.
Quite. But it's a mindset thing, isn't it?
I give them the award at the end of each year, and I say, look, I've got a bookcase at home. I said, I remember making that bookcase when I was in school, and I look at it every day, and I can see the mistakes I made.
Yes,
But it's there, and it's mine.
Yes. It's very tangible.
You know, it's there, and it's mine. And so, you know, go through it, and then meet them some years later. Brilliant carpenters and joiners.
Indeed, yes.
They often need the broader experiences and the understanding that traditional education is not the answer.
We have a lot of people who are running the local engineering companies now that came through the apprenticeship to Derwentside College, so they're really keen advocates of that.
And you find girls coming into apprenticeships as well?
Very much so.
So on the skill level as well as...
And in engineering, we have
And,
an interesting cohort of females in the engineering
We did a tree asked me to organise it last year. We did a reception for women engineers.
Yes.
To my office, 150k. And there was this woman standing there as I came in. She said, was your mother called
Really nice
Mary?
top shop on the little platform on this corner.
She was my interest.
There's a moral in there.
She said, can I thank you on because she's not around? I felt quite moved.
Yes, you're humble.
Well, we've got today, I know because
Lovely,
I've
lovely,
seen it.
lovely.
We've got a really talented female bricklayer in today, so hopefully we'll
How
get
do
a
you know
chance.
Laura's not a talented bricklayer?
She may well be. I'm sure she's a person of many talents.
Let's try you out.
We checked her CV and it didn't show up.
Bricklaying didn't come up there. He did a word search. He did a word search for bricklaying.
She's probably done that as well. But if Laura really can just go and see yes, so just thought we would kind of work out what we're doing. Quite a bit of a show. So I just thought if we, you know, if you would mind, maybe just have a
Thanks very much for being here this morning. I'm here with Laura, our candidate, and I'm very impressed with what I'm hearing about this college and the apprenticeships and the skill training that's been offered. Can any of you tell me what's so important about being an apprentice and getting a skill? Come on, somebody brave, stand up and tell us. Nobody? An idea?
You're learning whilst earning.
Learning whilst earning, yeah. What are you studying?
Catering, hospitality.
Okay. And you've got jobs lined up afterwards?
Not yet.
But you obviously expect to get
Yeah.
work, right? And what was your options offered when you left school?
I just applied here for the hospitality and catering. It's what I want to go to in the future.
And in school were you encouraged to do that, or did it was it your own mind?
They were told, I was told to stick with the food technology.
Right.
This is what I excelled in the most.
Okay. And this college has got the world's greatest welder come through the system. Anybody doing welding here?
12 welders we're going to see in a
Ah,
while.
no, it's a camera, not a welder.
You're going to see the welders on route.
Okay, we'll see. And anybody here doing bricklaying, or are you mostly on what course are you doing here? Catering. You're all catering students here.
No.
Engineering. And how's the course going, an electrician course? Yeah. Have you got? Do you think you'll be able to get work afterwards?
These guys have just recently got employed.
You're employed now, are you?
They started on a full-time programme and then gained employment in the apprenticeship from there.
Right. So the apprenticeship has come after the employment, has it?
The apprenticeship came as a result of enrolling on a full-time programme.
Right.
Within the vocational course that they wanted to do.
Right.
So,
Good.
And they've been looking to get employment within that as a full apprenticeship.
And do you feel you're being well treated as apprentices? Yeah. What about pay levels and things like that?
It needs to be higher.
Well, it obviously. Good answer. Good answer. Yeah. But to me, giving everybody a chance for going to college or going to university if they want to is, I think, very important. So one of our key proposals is to bring back the education maintenance allowance for 16-year-olds to carry on with full-time education. I think that's important. And also we want to ensure that everybody who wants to go on to develop into greater skill levels in college or to go on to university. We think it's very important to do that. Nobody should be blocked from it because they can't afford it. It's where we, the community, should pay for it all. So what's your ambitions to go into this and develop from there?
Just to like work for a company.
Yeah.
Just in being electrician.
Okay. What other courses we got here?
We've got
childcare over here.
childcare over here.
Yeah. Hi.
Childcare students.
How you doing? Well, we've got good news for all of you childcare students. We want there to be 30 hours of free childcare for 2 to 4-year-olds for the whole country, which will mean a huge increase in numbers. At the moment, there's not enough staff anywhere to deal with the needs. No, there's just a shortage everywhere on it. What made you go into childcare?
lot of experience, especially my younger siblings and my cousins. I've sort of grown up, I'm obviously one of the oldest, so I've grown up looking after them, so it sort of inspired me to go into childcare.
So you've had like 20 years training already. So, do you want to work in nursery or what sort of thing do you want to do?
I'd like to actually go into child psychology.
Right. Are you going to go into university to do that? Good. So what are you going to do now? Work for a bit, then go to university?
Yeah.
Okay. What
Work
about...
for a bit, go on to do either psychology or something like that, and then go on a job.
One of my reasons we're putting forward in our manifesto is this 30 hours for all children, is that we want a preschool place to be there for all children, not just either those that are given a free place or those that can afford to buy a place. We just think having all children together is such an important message to them that they're going to grow up together irrespective of what their background is or the parental income. I think that getting that message across is important. Are you in childcare at the moment?
We're doing retail,
Okay.
retail course. We're now in our fifth week, which we're really enjoying. How are you guys?
This is the third course I've been running.
So you're working at the moment, are you? You're coming in for
No, just coming to college.
Okay.
But this is the third course I've been on.
And how's it going?
Fantastic. Can we for anything better? I was carer for 29 years and right behind. And I put in the job. And this is the third course.
And how long's the course for?
This is 6 weeks.
Right.
And I'll final week next week.
And do you then help people looking for jobs as well?
Yes,
after
we've designed this course in conjunction with Job Centre Plus and some of the local retail employers. So we'll have a good track record of getting the learners into employment once they've completed the courses.
Yeah. We visited Matland last week.
And what are the key things you learn in the course? About customer relations and products, that sort of thing?
It really opened my eyes to what is entailed within the job.
Yeah, just to ensure that the customer is satisfied before they leave the store.
And is the customer always right? I love that. You're going to go far.
Yes.
In a way, yes.
That's a diplomatic answer. Jeremy, I think we need
You mean they're always right except when they're wrong?
Well, that's what would be there for.
Yeah, sure.
And these are the hairdresser.
How's that going? Are you working at the moment or are you looking for work after?
Looking for work after.
How long have you got left on your course?
3 weeks. 3 weeks. Yes.
So you're all on work placements?
Yes. So we're doing work placements.
What would you be doing if you weren't doing this?
Well, with my because I came in like at older age, I'd probably be sitting in the house feeling sorry for myself.
But you're not feeling sorry for yourself now, are you?
Oh no, none of it.
I love your hair as well.
Thank you.
Who did it?
No, just a barber, and it fell out as well.
Yeah, we're ready.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes, being chippied along a little bit. So I'm going off to the construction workshop now.
You can get really cheap haircuts here, can't you?
Yes. Have you seen
Makes a big difference.
We'll look around, talk to a few of them, and then we'll go and stand by the construction.
And say something
sign
about housing.
there, and I'll say something, and you can say something.
Lovely,
That's it.
absolutely fine.
Wave these around. So, who's in charge of the construction?
You couldn't do a Boris Johnson. You're far too pleasant, nice and intelligent to do that. Hi.
Ken, he's in charge of the construction workshop, Jeremy.
Great, how's it going?
Good, busy, enjoyable. Good.
And you're working on all construction skills here?
Yes, we've got joinery, plastering, general construction, bricklaying, tiling, so quite enjoyable.
And they all get jobs after?
Not all. Today we've got a mixture in. We've got apprentices. The majority of the people in the main part are apprentices from local authorities. Esh Group, which is a big company in County Durham. the majority of these guys down the left-hand side are full-time students. But they can go on to, obviously there's opportunities there, there's decent opportunities to get jobs.
And do you find they've got enough basic knowledge and skills before they arrive on this?
Not really. We used to get a chance for school children to come into FE colleges and do a lot of construction courses, but because they weren't on the sort of tech background, they don't create the GCSEs anymore, so the schools pulled back quite a bit, so they literally are brand new. So the model we've set up here...
Do you mean they come in with very little basic skills at all?
Not really.
So you have to put in some maths and English and some of the sort of, you know, just
a lot of resits, a lot of GCSE resits on maths and English, but also functional skills, maths and English at the lower level.
And do you then work out a pathway for each student?
Yes.
So you have a discussion with them where they're at, what they want to do, and then you work out a pathway how you're going to get from where they are to where they need to be.
We see how the skills develop, and we're aware of what the employers are looking for. If you take engineering, which is quite a broad field, we try to match the individual learners into the job roles, because it's so vast. You know, there's a good job in there for everybody, irrespective of ability level.
And with construction, and they sort of lend themselves to maths anyway, so if it's switched off a wee bit at school, it gets them interested. If they're doing a bit of hands-on skill,
if it's done in an applied way.
This morning we've been doing 3
it's out of the classroom and it's in the workshop.
If you know the amount you've got to cut a brick back to fit into a 2-metre space.
So if they're interested, it's half the battle in this.
Instead of it just being dry, you know.
They're trying to keep as much of the learning outside the classroom in a practical environment. It does seem to work.
Because in fact, these days construction is very high technology.
It is, lots of different methods, yes, absolutely. Setting out a bit like the cross-filling link, that engineering's phenomenal. I was watching that again the other day, and it's just some of the engineering that goes into that, it's out of this world. It was underneath, there was a section of it, about 300 mil between the top of one of the structures, 250 mil below, and that to get the tunnel between the two sections. It was unbelievable.
I was talking to them about a bridge they rebuilt for electrifying a railway line in my constituency, and they came across gas pipes that weren't there on the plan, water mains that they didn't know about that weren't there because they'd been bypassed and not properly sealed off. You know, it was all old stuff. This is Victorian construction that had to be rebuilt, and they had to also maintain the road at the same time. Incredible. And the skill that went into it all in planning. It was the planning of the work more than anything else that was quite incredible.
In relation to the local area, Jeremy, there's a lot of brownfield land, which is the ex-Consett Steelworks.
Indeed.
So we've got a guy here, and we must put you in touch.
Mark.
Yes, I don't know.
I met Mark.
Mark works for Dysart Developments, and they've been building over recent years new houses. St John have built new bungalows for ex-miners, and they've even put in allotments to give it a sort of a community feel.
And is it polluted land that has to be cleansed and so on?
They have to cleanse. They clean it as they go.
Because there'd be a lot of nasty stuff in
there.
There
is. They clean it.
At one time it was only industrial, but following further in-depth cleaning it became opportunistic for residential, and that's now what's happening. There's a huge residential complex just adjacent.
They've got 7 years of further development at the back of Tesco there, and that includes the hotel in the local area, mostly housing, the nursery, and they're going to build more ex-miners bungalows down there, because I think there was a 3- or 4-fold demand for the number of bungalows that they actually have. So it's phenomenal.
Should we have a word with one or two of the lads who are working, and then
Angie, it'd be nice if Lara came in to meet this Lara. They know each other well. Can you get her to come? Or get somebody to bring her in? They know each other from time, you know.
Jeremy commented earlier about our longevity. The information, advice and guidance element is what was the hardest lesson for us to learn, that you can't just give people opportunities unless you can create an outlet for those opportunities.
So hence the construction down the line.
That's what we do.
Yeah. That's what you do differently, isn't it?
I think it's where we put the emphasis.
And I think that's it. We were just saying about the opportunity down the line of employment is so crucial.
Yes, absolutely.
That's one of the lessons we learned long and hard. That you can't push everyone down the tunnel and assume they're all going to come out the other end.
We've got a great reputation now for getting the learners jobs, and that's what they want. That's why they come here.
And then after a while, the employers are going to come to you. because they know you can do it.
It's both ends against the middle. We provide the raw recruits for them to induct into their mechanisms, and they in turn give us their recruits for us to give the broader perspective and know what they use. So it's both ends against the middle. Again, an infrastructure that we had to develop over many years, where we realised the emphasis.
What was this place before?
Interestingly, this was a gym and it was an utter waste of space, and I decided to convert it into this tiny little facility, but you'd be amazed to know what we managed to do with the facility that we've got. I think because a lot of the kids are apprentices, the training is extended into the workplace. So we work on very basic skills here, and then once they're in the apprenticeship, we take the learning to them rather than them coming to us. Yes. Would you like to...
So we've got base down the right hand side, which can be tiling, washing. Predominantly we use it for tiling, washing, sorry. The middle area is sort of ebb and flow. So currently, because the weather's not so great, the guys have been doing a bit of setting out today, a bit of 3, 4, 5, neatly laid bricks. Again, a bit of smaller portion base down that side, and then sort of we've got the journal section down that bit. So it's a wee bit tight, but it's enough for what we need.
And do you also give them sort of safety training and all that?
Yeah, health and safety is paramount, yes. We always use health and safety as one of the key things that we cover, and it's getting them apprenticeship ready is what we're trying to do. So it's trying to get the real...
So this is basic skill, and from this they might go on to do a full apprenticeship.
We've got a variety, so we've got some guys are apprentices, they've got the gentleman down there, the guys with Bradley's one of my ex-full-time students, so he then transferred it to become an apprentice. So when we bring them in at level 1, like it's fundamental, we need a level 1 programme. They don't have the hand skills from school, very rarely do they do any construction. So we tend to bring them in, have a little trial, they do a bit of plating, they don't.
That was the point you were just discussing earlier, is that children coming in schools don't get enough practical skill training of any sort. We don't give kids enough construction toys, enough construction things. You can't do everything on a computer.
There used to be funding to deliver 14 to 16 provision where pupils would be released from some elements of the national curriculum and they would come into college and do things like this. But the funding dried up quite a few years ago, and with the pressure schools are under with the KPIs, they're very reluctant to allow the pupils to do, extracurricular activities. So unfortunately things like this have become a bit of a casualty. I don't know whether you remember, Jeremy, but a good few years ago there was a thing called Young Apprenticeships. And that was very successful. It was very popular with parents, but the funding was good for that as well.
I think we can't start too young with this, and I think primary schools have got a role to play in this as well, just giving kids basic skill training, how to make things, how to put things together. It all helps that, because at home they have very few little space or facilities. You've got to do it somewhere.
So I think we probably need to move on to the next area.
Hi, thanks, how you doing?
Are you going to have a go?
Yeah, sure, we'll have a go. John, are we ever going to have a go?
Yeah. It would be better if you want to have a little go.
Yeah. I think they want us to do some bricklaying first.
Let's do this first.
Do this first, yeah. Okay.
Right. Can I just bring you to order a moment? I'm John Healy, I'm Labour's Shadow Housing Secretary. First of all, I want to thank you and the college for having us here today. To Karen Redhead, your principal, Tony Edwards, your chair, Ken Johnson for bringing us into the construction workshop, for the warm Durham welcome, not so much the Durham weather. Thank you, especially to all the students that have been willing to talk with Jeremy and us today. We're also here to launch the housing manifesto for Labour's election campaign. And you have to say that for too long, politicians in Westminster simply haven't given housing the priority that we all give it ourselves in our own lives. It's where we grow up, it's where we raise our families, it's part of our sense of belonging to our local community. But in truth, in many areas, the housing market is failing and housing policy is failing. And we've seen over the last 6 years and 7 years, almost everyone knows someone affected by the housing crisis. Because we've seen since 2010 the lowest number of new homes built under any government in peacetime since the 1920s. The level of new affordable house building is at a level now we haven't seen for 24 years. Home ownership's down to a 30-year low, and rough sleeping, homelessness, people sleeping on our streets, has more than doubled as ministers have withdrawn the help and protection that people need. And so this election on Thursday, this week, gives people a chance to change things, to change who government is working for. A choice of 5 more years of the failure we've seen over the last 7, or this, a bold, radical, long-term plan under Labour to fix the housing crisis, and also to give priority to those who have failed most: young first-time buyers, private renters, and those waiting on council waiting lists for the chance of a home they can genuinely afford. And so this is Labour's New Deal on housing, a new deal for first-time buyers, young first-time buyers on ordinary incomes. 100,000 new first-buy homes at a discount price, stamp duty cut for 2 years, and first dibs on new homes built in a local area for local first-time buyers. A new deal for the 1 million people on council waiting lists, with at least 100,000 new affordable homes each year by the end of the Parliament, both to rent and buy. The biggest council house building programme for over 30 years. And also a new deal for private renters. New consumer rights, basic minimum standards, 3-year tenancies with a cap, an inflation cap on rent rises during that time. And on day 1 of a Labour government after Thursday's election, a fully fledged new housing department to spearhead this new deal for housing, so that housing in this country has the priority that it hasn't had since the decades following the Second World War, because that's what we need, that's what people deserve, and that's what we will get if we have Jeremy Corbyn as the Prime Minister and a Labour government after Thursday's election.